Hey everyone. So it's pretty late. It's 10:14. I got work tomorrow, but I wanted to go ahead and make this update to the primary video series, I guess, on the YouTube page. So here's the updated spreadsheet. What I did is I went back and I updated a bunch of these right here, the tabs at the bottom, with more information from the MTG Goldfish metagame stuff. And I also, I added these two right here, the expected win percentage of our loss for games and matches. I also changed a bunch of this to only include decks that are actually going to be in the metagame for the most part. Some of these are still in the 0%, like the MTG meta, all the stuff in 0% just isn't even on MTGO, or MTG Goldfish. So the stuff in red are anything that's below 50% in my win ratio. Stuff in orange is at 50%, and stuff in green is above. So stuff in red are the matchups that I need to work the most on. Of course, it's in my experience, Infect, Burn, Jun, Valakut, Suicide, and so on. Glacial Brand I think is actually a better matchup than what this shows, but this is I don't know. I only have only one full match against Glacial Brand. And Storm, that was a rough matchup too. I think it's probably a little bit different now. I have updated my list as well, which I'll show in a second. But, so the reason why I sorted it like this, I sorted it by column M and column L. Primary M, then L. And that's because the percentage that our losses at a tournament, if this follows the MTG Goldfish metagame percentage, and my percentages for win-loss ratios, then that means that these are the decks that we're going to most likely face, and if we're going to lose, it's probably going to be against these, that, whatever percentage. So, and with that said, I went back through and I noticed, for example, my Infect videos, I was blind milling my opponent a bunch, which I realize in hindsight is a total mistake, because all I'm doing is feeding my opponents become immense. So I need to test more against Infect and make sure that maybe it's not, due to my user error of the deck. For Burn, Jun, and Valakut, I changed my deck list a bit. So anyways, this is a good bit of information. I updated this yesterday, and I'll try to keep this updated with some information as well. You can also go through, and I still have the old stuff up here, and I still have this that gives a rough estimate as to what it would be like to face the decks. The lower the score, the harder it is. I haven't updated the Grixis control right here. I still need to update a bunch of this stuff. Bloom Titan doesn't even really matter anymore, but it kind of still exists as a deck. But yeah, and I primarily sort it by post-board, because I figure we're probably going to be playing more post-board games than we do pre-board games, so that's going to kind of matter. So anyways, so that you give a good idea as to what it looks like here. So I have all of the cards that are typically in a deck, how many in a deck, what percentage, just all that straight from MTG Goldfish, and then how all these cards rate against them. My list is down here on the left, and I just tweak these numbers for pre-board, post-board. So, and all I'm trying to do is make this number and this number as high as possible. So that tells me, about what I can cut and what I should keep. So, for example, Abrupt Decay is better against Affinity than Pyrite Spellbomb. Or, of course, Pithing Needle is great against Affinity. Scores of 401. And all that's coming from over... Where is it at? Did I already pass it? Yeah, right here. Alright. And then I did a little bit more work right here. The relevant cards, what are the chances they're going to draw them? And that goes into these scores right here. So, see, and this is skewed in favor of the opponent. because this is assuming the opponent can just throw these cards in and it won't mess up their deck ratio. Like, they can sideboard everything in without taking anything out and still draw everything when they want to. So this is heavily favored in the opponent's, or heavily scored in the opponent's favor, or skewed in the opponent's favor. I use this to help determine how well Pyroclasm is going to be against a deck. This determine how well Welding Jar will be against a deck. I haven't finished the Gerber at the grid metrics here. I don't know, I still have to figure out an algorithm that makes it accurate. But yeah, and of course I do that with all these matchups. And there's a lot of them down there. I haven't updated all of them, but this is what I got. So anyway, so that's the spreadsheet. I think this is probably the one of the sheets that'll be the most useful as far as information. So with this, here's my current list. I swapped out the Sun Droplets for Ley Lines because they are way better against Jund. They're good against Burned and they're great against Jund. And seeing as how Burn and Jund are two of our hardest matchups, instead of having one card that's good against Burn, I have a card that's good against two matchups. Let's see. I changed my sideboard to have one Surgical and one Extirpate because of the rise of Dredge. And of course it's also good, extremely good, against Valakut decks. So you can like Ghost Quarter and then Surgical. And basically if you Surgical or Extirpate all of their Valakuts and then land a bridge, you win. So yeah, that's what. I also updated my Ghost Quarter numbers. Where's it at? There we go. 3 Ghost Quarters in the main now. And of course, that is not just for Valakut. Ghost Quarter is also good against Affinity. It's also good against Infect. And it's pretty good against Suicide too, because they typically run 0 basic lands. So basically, you're strip mining them. And of course, it's good against Red-Green Tron. This is actually kind of skewed, I think, in my favor because a lot of this data came before the printing. Like, Yugen was printed, and then what was it? Not World Smasher. I don't know, the other one, the green one that exiles a land, artifact, or enchantment when it enters the battlefield. That got printed. A bunch of stuff got printed that made this matchup worse. So this is probably going to continue to go down as I get more data. Unfortunately, I don't get a whole lot of data very often. I don't get to choose who I play against online. If people are willing to play with me to get these numbers more accurate, I'd greatly appreciate it. So anyways, another big add was Collective Brutality here. A lot of that is because of that Infect matchup, and it's also a great card against Burn. It's still good against Affinity. It's good against Valakut if they're running the Scape Shift brand of it. And it's pretty decent against Jund. They can take out a Bob and get rid of a Maelstrom Pulse or an Abrupt Decay if we need to. And it'll help us dump our hand. It's particularly kind of good with Ley Lines because that way we don't get Ley Lines stuck in our hand. We can just, if we draw one and we need to empty our hand, Brutality will let us do that. Brutality also turns on Infernal Tutor much faster. Let's see. What are some other big things that I've done? I think that's about it. I still keep 3 Spellskites main because those are important against Jund, redirecting from our bridge, even though they do run Terminate, but it's, in game 1, sure, they'll use the Terminates, but that means that all of their creature destruction, it works on 3 cards in the deck. So them holding creature destruction doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get to use it, because I might just get a Welding Jar instead post board. But it is good against Infect and Burn as well. And again, 2 of our harder matchups. Let's see. Quiet Disrepair is still Primordium. That's because of the rise in popularity of Chalice of the Void. Quiet Disrepair also is great against Burn, gain 2 life every single turn. And of course, both of these are good against Affinity, which is a matchup where you should see pretty often. Here's another Pithing Needle for Affinity, and it's also good against like Ad Nauseam, so we can land a needle real quick. But yeah, Leyline is also good against Dredge, so that they can't try to kill us out under through a bridge with Conflagrate or whatever it's called. I am still running one Ether Grid main, and that's because, in my experience, it has saved me games. 2 out of the 10 games I've won against Affinity, Ether Grid has saved my butt. So I'm still running it, and I have won. I mean, heck, I've won a game against Burn by burning my opponent out with Ether Grid before they could burn me out. It's just a good, in my opinion, utility card, all-around utility card. I understand if some people disagree with it, but that's fine. I mean, this is just how I'm building it. My updates since the Kaladesh and whatnot is the 4 Blooming Marsh and 2 Inventor's Fair. Inventor's Fair feels broken in this deck. It's one of the reasons also why I was able to dump Sun Droplet. And Collective Brutality was an update from one of the newer sets. I don't even remember which set that is. I don't know, I don't play Standard. So anyways, here's my current list. Here's the updates to the spreadsheet. Feel free to take a look. We got 2 people looking at it right now. I had a bunch of people earlier because I linked it as Chion was streaming. Here's the primer still over MTG Salvation, 0 down here, the original architect of the deck. It still has me on here from where I used to be the op, and I messaged 0 down about trying to take it back because I got more time now. I'll be able to update it, and I really want to update with more information about specific matchups. For example, what I learned about my mistakes playing against Infect, and some other things that I've figured out playing against various decks. It's way too long for this video because I'd have to go through deck by deck. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard back from them yet, so I don't know. We'll see what's going on. I don't want to just edit the post and steal this from them, so that'd be kind of rude. I respect the guy a lot. Again, all these people that helped work on this deck. Where's the... Oh, I don't know. There's a sample deck list somewhere in here. But anyways, yeah, all these people who helped out, and yeah, that should be about it. Thanks for watching, and if anybody has any suggestions on what I could do to be, make this better, or if anybody is willing to help me playtest some more. I've heard a lot of requests for trying to come up with a more budget list. Unfortunately, I've tried it many times. There are a couple of budget lists that seem to work. I tried one and I actually won a game against Affinity with it by doing all sorts of self-mill and then Umbriel rights on Blazing Archon. It was kind of nuts, but I don't trust it to be competitive. I'd definitely go for it, and I posted the list in the primer thread, but I wouldn't ever bring it to a Grand Prix or anything. It could probably work against a lot of kitchen table people, but if you're playing Lantern at a kitchen table meta, and that's evil. That's just pure evil. But alright, thanks for watching, and I would any feedback. I'm always looking forward to it. Thanks a lot.